So yeah, I'm finally back. I'm sorry that it took me a few weeks to come back, but well, I was really worn out after the World Cup videos, and then there were the holidays, and then that Pele video, which took a lot of work, way more than I expected, and regardless, I'm here now. And today's topic is simple. We're gonna be talking about CR7's transfer to Al Nassr. Obviously, it's an insane move. If you've told me this like 6 months ago, my jaw would have dropped to the floor. There's conflicting reports on how much he will earn, but if we are to believe the most common numbers, then he should be pulling about 200 million a year, which is just unbelievable. And no wonder he couldn't resist the offer. That means he's gonna be making $6 per second throughout his entire 2.5-year contract. Still, despite all of that, apparently, according to Ronaldo, he joined Al Nassr because of Rudi Garcia. He says that back when Juventus faced Lyon in 2020, Rudi Garcia was the coach, and he was so impressed that after the match, he asked him for his phone number and promised him he would follow him wherever he went, which, well, I'm pretty sure Ronaldo didn't expect him to end up in Saudi Arabia, so at least I guess you can say he's a man of his word. But yeah, what did you expect the guy to say? That he went there because of the money? I mean, honestly, I don't even think that was 100% it. It seems quite clear to me, to be honest. If you look at the past year, he's been going through some of the worst moments of his life. Losing his son, seeing his daughter in the hospital for so long. You can really see how that has affected him mentally. Which, paired with the arrival of Ten Hag, who, to be honest, right from the start didn't seem too keen on having a player like Ronaldo on his team, well, let's just say it's no wonder that the quality of his performances started dropping. And then it all turned into a bit of a cycle. Since he was performing worse, then he started getting benched, which then meant he got benched at the World Cup, which made him even more depressed, which made him act out, which then led the media to drag his name through the mud even more than they already do, affecting his mental state even more. And suddenly I feel like he found himself with nowhere to escape. And Al Nassr, well, it was sort of his way out of this, and he took it. After all, with all that money, why not? He's 38, it's not like he wasted his prime years going to Saudi Arabia. I know some people are gonna say that I'm overanalyzing it and that there's no way that I could know how he's really feeling. After all, I've never talked to the guy in my life, obviously. But there was one thing that Rudi Garcia said in the press conference that really piqued my interest. He said, "The only thing I wish for the legend Cristiano Ronaldo is to bring back the joy of playing and smiling again." That seems like a very specific thing to say. It really makes it seem like Ronaldo had already told them that maybe he wasn't feeling too well. If you think about it, this slump, it really has to be more mental than anything else. His Champions League campaign just last year was incredible. He was constantly saving Man United at the very last minute, as deadly as ever, and suddenly he's playing like this. There's just no way. There's no way he could have gotten so much worse so fast. And honestly, my hot take in the middle of all of this is that even though he says his chapter in Europe is over and stuff like that, I wouldn't be so sure. I could really see him pulling off a Zlatan-esque move back to Europe eventually. Come on, it's just too disappointing to see him end up like this after saying stuff like, "Oh, I want my career to end with dignity. I don't want to end up in Qatar like some other players." Come on, there's no way. Maybe I'm just in denial or something. But, well, there's one bit of news that gives me hope. So, according to some reports, there's a clause in Ronaldo's contract that could allow him to move back to the Premier League in a loan move to Newcastle United if they do end up managing to qualify to the Champions League. Apparently, Al Nassr allowed this because both them and Newcastle are owned by the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund. But the thing is, although that bit of news got a lot of traction, in reality it is fake to an extent, as Newcastle's coach Eddie Howe has said that there is no truth to that from their perspective. But the thing is, one of the journalists that broke the news on that statement also made sure to say that the clause was never for Newcastle specifically. Apparently, Ronaldo insisted on having a specific clause on his contract that allows him to talk with any club that is qualified to the Champions League. So that is very strange. Why would you ask for that if you had no intention of moving back to Europe? Don't be surprised if it happens, okay? But yeah, on the topic of fake or not fake, If you've seen that video of him supposedly scoring his first goal for Al Nassr, well, I got bad news for you. That was fake. Simple as that. The goal you watched was actually the very last goal he scored for Juventus in the very last match he ever played for them, which, by the way, ironically enough got disallowed, which they obviously never show in the video, and that was especially unfortunate as it would have been the winning goal in injury time, which of course would have been the perfect send-off for Ronaldo. But yeah, it seems it fooled everyone, just because of that awful white kit. I mean, come on guys, Juventus, Al Nassr, Juventus, Al Nassr. I know, it's similar but it's not the same, okay? The videos I was mentioning, the fake ones with the goal he scored for Juventus, went mega viral, like 12 million views in 20 hours, that's unbelievable, I wish. The way Ronaldo just captures the attention of the masses is on another level, which, by the way, reminded me of this bit of news. There's a lot of newspapers saying that Ronaldo's unveiling at Al Nassr apparently got 3 billion views, which is more than the World Cup final and about half of the world's population. And I gotta say, I just don't believe it. There's been some big name newspapers like Marca posting it, but still, there's just no way. So I went searching online for the truth and I ended up finding some fact-checking websites, and according to them, only about 300 million people watched, which is still insane, but well, yeah, if you've seen that, it's definitely most likely not true. But yeah, I don't blame you if you believed it because, well, the numbers this guy can pull are just unbelievable. Just a week ago, Al Nassr had like 400k followers on Instagram and they're now at like 11 million. That's more than Inter, Ajax, Napoli, River Plate, and they could pass Tottenham in like a few weeks at this rate. Imagine where they could be in 2 years. If they're able to handle this properly, it could be massive for them. Though to be fair, the fact their website crashed damn near immediately after the move was announced and still hasn't gone back up, well, it isn't the most hopeful thing ever. But yeah, so far I found their approach quite interesting. It really seems like their social media and marketing teams weren't prepared for a player of this size to arrive at the club. While I was doing some research for this video, I went on the Saudi Arabian version of their website and they had like this huge and extremely pixelated picture of the squad, but with Ronaldo nowhere to be seen. Then I went on their Twitter and I noticed that Ronaldo isn't even on like their banner or anything like that. It just seems like wasted potential in my opinion, but well, I guess they have all the time in the world, so. Another consequence of all of this that I found really funny were all of the implications this move had on the transfer market. So first of all, there's this rumor going on, and surprise, surprise, it's fake, that Al Nassr terminated some guy's contract solely because he was wearing the number 7 and he was refusing to hand it out to Cristiano. And yeah, that's not the case at all. The guy who was indeed previously wearing the number 7 and the guy that you see in the picture is, and I'm really sorry because I'm gonna butcher his name completely, Jaloliddin Masharipov. And yeah, the guy's from Uzbekistan. He's a forward who joined the club in 2021, but in fact, not only is he still in the club, but he also hasn't worn the number 7 shirt since the beginning of the season and has been using number 77 ever since. In reality, the fact that he stopped wearing the number 7 at the beginning of the season was one of the things that led to the rumors that this move was bound to happen. Regardless, with that, I don't mean to say that this move hasn't had any implications in the transfer market, because it surely has. So first of all, a similar story that had been going around was that after Ronaldo moved to Al Nassr, they couldn't register him because they had too many foreign players, so they felt they had to offload someone in order to make space for Ronaldo, and it chose to do that to Abubakar, terminating his contract so that Ronaldo could, well, be registered. While at the same time, United supposedly were looking for a replacement for Ronaldo and ended up picking Weghorst, who had a phenomenal World Cup campaign and was now supposedly looking for a move out of Besiktas. Which, of course, you've probably guessed it by now, meant Besiktas were looking for a striker to replace Weghorst, and they've apparently landed on Abubakar, meaning they have pretty much been playing a game of musical chairs. But yeah, once again, this is where things get interesting because, well, you really just can't trust the news these days. The coverage of football transfers is just dreadful mostly. And yeah, as it turns out, Abubakar's contract has not been terminated whatsoever. Though it does seem like Abubakar will probably move before the end of the transfer window, saying that his contract was terminated is far too harsh. In reality, it seems he just had a really good World Cup, so he was looking to profit off of that by moving somewhere else. And well, now things just seem to make that move even more logical, so why not? But yeah, regardless, it does seem like he'll stay for a little while, which is kinda cool for me as a Porto fan, because it's a bit surreal seeing Abubakar and Ronaldo in the same team. From the moment I heard the news, I was super excited to see them play together, and well, it seems maybe I have a shot. Which, by the way, leads me to my other point. Ronaldo's debut. His actual debut, not the fake video I mentioned. So obviously everyone was super excited for his debut and many people just assumed he would play instantly, which led a lot of people to be excited for the match on the 5th of January against Altai. But well, come on, that was too fast, too soon. There's no way he could make it. The transfer was made public on New Year's Eve, the presentation was on the 3rd. If he managed to debut by the 5th, it would just be insane. Oh, and by the way, some of you probably noticed that the game wasn't actually played on the 5th, it was played on the 6th of January, and if you're wondering why that happened, well, there was like this big storm in Riyadh, and it led to a power outage in the stadium, which then led the match to be delayed 24 hours. So yeah, that's it. If you were curious, there you go. But still, you're probably asking, well, when is he gonna debut then? There's a match on the 14th, but Ronaldo still can play it. Why? It seems it's because he has to go through with a ban he got for smacking a phone out of a fan's hand in that match versus Everton a few months ago. Yeah, it happened in the Premier League, but apparently it carries on to the new league, and yeah, he can't play. Meaning that in the best case scenario, he would get his debut on the 22nd against Al Ettifaq. But like, listen to me. This is where things got mind-blowing. I don't think anyone was expecting this. So apparently on the 19th of January, Al Nassr is gonna combine with Al Hilal to make up a sort of Saudi Arabian all-star team that's gonna play a friendly against PSG, meaning Ronaldo versus Messi. But above all, and even better, Moussa Marega plays for Al Hilal. I know every single Porto fan who just heard this is just jumping off their sofa, but I'll explain. Ronaldo, Marega, Abubakar, playing in the same attacking trio. As a Porto fan, this is the greatest moment of my life. There's a chance I could see the GOAT himself playing alongside CR7. This is a dream come true. I cannot put into words how happy this makes me. And still somehow this match gets more weird, as apparently Marcelo Gallardo is gonna be the one coaching the team. Not Rudi Garcia, not Ramon Diaz, who are coaching Al Nassr and Al Hilal respectively, but Marcelo Gallardo, who is coaching River Plate, all the way across the Atlantic Ocean. For some reason. I've googled it. I have no idea why. If someone knows, please tell me, okay? Yeah. To end the video, there's also this picture of the supposed kit they're gonna be wearing for the match. And I have to say, if that kit by Juventus was bad, this one isn't much better. So yeah, I guess I'll leave you on that note. Oh yeah, maybe leave some ideas down in the comments. I would like to see what you guys want me to make, and bye.